What we have here, we're looking at half a month worth of traffic because today is the 15th, and we're showing 20,000 fake, 6,000 real. Now, what I usually do is I analyze the data on a day-by-day basis when I look at visitor behavior, unless I need to go on a longer period. But let's do for yesterday. And I haven't analyzed this data yet. All right, so for the 14th, he had 400 real visits, 1,100 fake. Then what I do is I click on details, and I usually tell the client, let's do a few things. First, let's confirm that you truly have bot traffic and we do not care about it, so there's no maybe. So what I usually do is I say, okay, let's do fake traffic first. So we're going to look at all the fake traffic. Let's open up the details, why it's fake. We don't care about all the countries because you only cater to the US. So let's look at the US only. We're at 1,000 fake visits. So then I'm going to say, well, let's take a look at one thing. People who are going to be coming to you organically, they're probably going to come from Google and type in a keyword. So let's see how many of these are false positives. Somebody actually typed in a keyword, which means they have to be real, and came from Google, so we can eliminate those out. So if I sort by keyword, there are a few here. So most likely these are real and these are false positives because we just didn't render the JavaScript for whatever reason. Like 10 of them out of the 1,075. Let's say this is not enough proof. So what we do is we say, well, let's look at the page views. And I usually say, let's look at everything that has a one-page view. There's 715 that have a one-page view. So it's safe to assume that they were going to shop with you anyway. So even if you're concerned that some of these might be real visitors, who cares? They're just one-page views, so we don't care about it. So let's look at the real ones. So we click on real and we get rid of fake. Let me do all pages. So then I say, look, we had a 30% bounce rate, which we need to fix that. That's a separate problem that we need to fix. We need to figure out why there's a bounce rate on real traffic. A good bounce rate is 5% or lower. 30% is very high, so you need to figure out where the problem is. Now, let's assume the bounce rate is not a problem. We need to analyze the real visitors that actually browse your store. So usually I take 409 visits and I eliminate the bounce rate out of it. So 126. So 409 minus 126. So there was 283 people that were supposed to be engaging with a website. So what I'm going to say is anybody who had more than 2 page views and anyone who's real, and I'm also going to say I only want to see desktop users. I'll analyze mobile and tablet later because those have to be analyzed separately. Desktop users only, all the referrers, all the campaigns, page views at least 2 and up in the US. I'm up to 86 potential real visitors that actually I care about because they browsed my site. So what I'm going to say is I don't want to see poor engagement. I only want to see good and excellent keywords. So now we're down to 45 people. Do you see how we went from like 1,500 to 45? We're looking at 45 real people to figure out why they didn't convert. And now we're going to say, well, why did they not convert? So we expand the issues column, and I'm going to sort it. Usually what I do is this. I turn on all the issues that we had. So instead of saying all, I just turn them all on here. And then we go issue by issue to figure out what the problem is. Let's talk about issue of product selection. Out of the 32 people that we have here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with product selection. Double click on it and you can probably troubleshoot what the problem was, right? His problem is that he actually doesn't have his whole catalog on the website. So people are coming in looking for certain products, not finding and leaving. You know, somebody's typed in African mango, he doesn't have it on his site. It's another product and he's going to now add it to his catalog. Next problem is window shopping. Why are people window shopping? Window shopping is usually when they're browsing through the website really, really fast. It's not a real customer. If you're spending under a minute, you're not really analyzing it. So window shoppers have to be troubleshooted. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why. For this client, we realized that a lot of window shoppers, you can see the window shopping, these are the people that were coming in for free samples. He used to offer it and then he stopped and they're still coming in. They're coming in and they're looking for the free sample. They're not finding it, which is why we're seeing that window shopping behavior. So then we eliminate the window shoppers only. Now we're down to people who try to contact. He was getting phone calls. The people in customer service weren't logging the orders into the system. They were logging it into their other system. So it wasn't counting against the conversions. He was able to troubleshoot that as well to say, look, you got to put it through this system because I can't track if we're making sales or not. So the try to contact is eliminated. Now we're down to product sales copy, which was a big issue for him. It was just really hard to read. He had way too much content there. It was all blending in. There was no pictures. It was very, very boring. So like this guy had 17 page views. he spent 3 minutes on this particular page, right? So we can say, okay, let's open up a screenshot for this particular page. What we do with a line, whenever he moves the mouse really fast, it's just a 1 pixel line. Now, for every delay, so if he stops moving his mouse, the line starts to get thicker and thicker. I think this is as thick as it goes, which means like every 3 seconds it adds a pixel. So he spent 3 minutes on it. He probably just stayed here for a while. But you can see that he was engaging, right? He started here. He clicked on the product overview. He looked at the image. He was going back and forth, back and forth. It looks like he moved here. He probably called them, I'm assuming. We also track phone calls. On the footer of all the websites, there's a customer reference number. And you can take that over the phone. And if you did that, and this guy ended up placing the order over the phone, it would have been logged in as successful, not a problem with a sales copy. But let's assume he did not call you and he did not pay for it. That would mean that something happened here. You look at trends by looking at the screenshots and you try to figure out where you have the problem. And this is usually where we do the consulting with you. We kind of give you what some of the issues might be and how you can fix them. This is another thing that needs to be troubleshooted. There's no magic button for that because everybody has a different situation. Once we eliminate the product sales copy, we're down to these two things, right? Abandoned cart, which we're trying to solve by revamping the checkout screen, and the registration, we made a new interface for it, and we added guest checkout for him, so that should eliminate future abandonments on there. So this is basically how we troubleshoot your conversion problems. And obviously there could be other issues. For example, if somebody estimated the shipping on the cart and then left, we would trigger that there was an abandoned cart after estimate shipping. It would actually say that. If somebody tried to use a promotion and did not find it, there would be an issue for that. We log every time there was a drop-off at a certain trigger to give you the trend of what's happening so you can do this kind of analysis that I just showed you. In the best case scenario, you should have very, very little issues on your site if you get everything perfect, because everybody who comes in, something is supposed to happen. You need to be comfortable with the issues you have. It should not be an unknown question where you have no idea what's going on. And typically that involves analysis like this.